Is it truly impossible to eat healthy while you are out on a cruise? Are people who ride bikes ignored by the cruise lines? Do you have problems fitting your suitcase in your cruise cabin? And we're going to talk about aerosol cans. Can you bring them on board your cruise? Yep, you guessed it. It's once again time for what every cruiser wants. Good Saturday morning, everybody. Chris here with High Seas Cruising, and welcome to today's video and to today's comment. Now, of course, these are not typical comments. These are comments from people that got to throw in some rudeness, some entitlement, some demanding statements, things the cruise line needs to change, that people demand be changed. But the real question is, are they right or are they wrong? Could they have done a little research and known before they wrote the comment? Could they have used a little thought, a little bit of common sense, and maybe the solution would have been right there in front of them the entire time? So let's jump into the comments and let's find out, do you agree or do you disagree with these people? Now, first up today, we're going to talk about eating healthy on board a cruise ship. And if you like to eat healthy, we've said it before, there's nothing wrong with that. You can find healthy choices or healthier choices on board a cruise ship. However, if you are one of those people that wants to eat healthy, why must you be rude, nasty, and ugly to those that don't want to? Why is what they're doing controlling your life? And what kind of person writes a comment that says, look, don't be rude to me, while they are being extremely rude to others in their comment? I am so disappointed with yet another photo and of unhealthy food promotion by Carnival's very overweight ambassador. On my last cruise, which was on Carnival's newest ship, Jubilee, it was just about impossible to eat healthy. I would like my food to have a lot of proteins and fibers, and I like to eat fruit and vegetables as well as low-fat meat. Only fish and chicken. The bread was either white or wheat, and there was no fiber-rich cereal choices. At the lunch buffet, there was never fish, and the only chicken laid in greasy sauce. Shaq's Big Chicken catered to your followers, John, because they all look like you, or much worse. I am not being cruel, so do not flame me. I am saying what I see with my own two eyes. The choices were very narrow. No meat or protein there, no low-fat cooked vegetables either. Only at dinner was I able to order fish, only one choice each night. What happened to the salmon? For the side, I had to order separate broccoli every night except one night. They had beans and asparagus. Other nights, only potatoes, rice, and pasta. Obesity kills more Americans than smoking. How do you like them apples? So they say, I am not being cruel. Don't flame me. Don't come at me for what I say, what I see with my own two eyes. Yet they start off by talking about how the brand ambassador is overweight and all of his followers either look like him or are much, much worse. But don't be cruel to me for saying what I see. Well, I'll tell you what I see. What I see is a jerk off who thinks that they can write in a comment, talk smack about somebody else, other people, the way they look, but don't come at me. You could hurt my feelings. All because they feel that they can't find exactly what they want to eat on board a cruise. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, really, at the end of the day. Nobody is making you get on board that ship. You don't like it, don't get on the ship. You don't like the way the other people look, don't get on the ship. Nobody makes you cruise. And honestly, you're really not the kind of person that people want to go on a cruise with anyway. If all you're doing is looking around the ship with disgust at other people, don't get on the ship. Period. Next up, we're going to talk about bike riding. You like to ride bikes? Again, nothing wrong with enjoying a certain activity. And in this case, it's riding bikes. These people, they like to ride bikes. But they can't just write a comment talking about bike riding. Nope, nope, nope. They've got to be rude. They have to attack a whole other group of people over their enjoyment of bike riding. Then they put stuff in their comments where they clearly did no research, did no checking, had no real factual information other than they didn't get their way. They couldn't do exactly what they wanted to do, which of course means it's the fault of this group of people over here. And of course, the representative they spoke to was rude because they got told no, all over bikes. With all of the beautiful ports that Carnival visits, I'm sure I'm not the first to think, wow, it would be really nice to bike around the island. Yet Carnival says no. Please do not BS me and say that the reason for this is safety, blah, blah, blah. When you allow lazy people to use mobility scooters, most of which are not needed by the people sitting on them. I am in my 40s. My wife also, and we love to ride bikes when on vacation. Why is a Carnival vacation the only place where this idea is slammed shut? That is what happened when I called the service number and spoke to the very rude. You know, an interesting thing about riding bikes while on vacation, there are several excursions in different locations where you can ride bikes. There are places that you can rent bicycles if you want to ride bikes. Do you know you can take a bicycle on board a Carnival cruise ship? Couple of things to go with that, though. It has to be a foldable bicycle. It's got to fold up, and the wheels have to be 20 inches or smaller, but you can technically take a bike on board your cruise ship. Have to store it in your cabin, of course, and then you can take it off and ride it in port if you want to. So to say that cruise lines completely ignore people that like to ride bikes, it's just not true. Now, you cannot just bring your full-size 10-speed mountain bike, whatever the case may be, on board a cruise ship. You can't do that. And that is really what pisses these people off. That's what they got told no to. That's why the cruise line is rude, because that's what they couldn't do. But why, if this person likes to ride bikes and cannot bring their bike on the ship, do they feel the need to suddenly attack people on mobility scooters? To suddenly call those people lazy? Just lazy people riding around on mobility scooters, and they're just not needed. They don't need them. First, you have no idea whatsoever why that person is in a mobility scooter. You don't know. Why are you even talking about it? Two, why even mess with them because you aren't allowed to do something you think you should be allowed to do? What does mobility scooters and your desire to ride bikes have to do with each other? Period. There's options to ride bikes. You don't have to be rude, nasty, and ugly to somebody just because you don't get your way. And it's always the same thing. I was told no, so they are rude, and look at these lazy people over here. So I'll say it again. Maybe cruising isn't for you. If all you want to do is go on vacation and ride a bike, which is perfectly fine, go pick a different type of vacation. Go pick a land vacation where they have bicycles, or you can take your bicycles and go pedal on down the road, because you don't need to be on cruise ships with that kind of attitude, talking about people in mobility scooters just because you don't get your way. Now we're going to talk about suitcases. Where do you store your suitcase when you go on your cruise? And I get, if you're a first-time cruiser, you may not know. You may not have this information. But suitcases will fit underneath the bed. If for some reason they don't fit underneath the bed, you can put them inside the closet. That's what I do. And I have a big suitcase for longer cruises. I have a 26-inch suitcase, big suitcase. Fits perfectly under the bed, or I can store it right in the closet. It's out of the way. I don't have to worry about it while I'm on my cruise vacation. But that's because, see, I'm an experienced cruiser. I've been on cruises before. I know what to do with my luggage. Most experienced cruisers will tell you the same thing. They know what to do with your luggage. But what if you are that person who knows what fits under the bed, who knows what fits in the closet, yet still thinks it should be the cruise line's responsibility to store your luggage for you? And we're not talking about a new cruiser. Nope, we're talking about cruisers that have sailed over 200 nights on a cruise line and still think it's the cruise line's responsibility. No, Heel, that is not true. Not every and all suitcases fit under the bed. Your response is misleading at best. Why is there no suitcase storage for diamond passengers? DH and I mostly take journey cruises now. We always take 3 26-inch hard-sided suitcases, and they do not fit under the bed. We have some larger and medium cases. The carry-on fits into the medium, which fits into the larger, like Russian stacking dolls. None of this would be stressful if you offered storage for your most frequent cruisers. So clearly they are diamond level cruise passengers, over 200 nights sailing on Carnival Cruise Lines, and they have not figured out in 200 nights that their suitcases don't fit under the bed. They haven't figured out that they could put them inside the closet. After 200 nights, they say this would be so much less stressful if you would just store my bags for me because I am diamond. Well, I will say this much. If after 200 nights of cruising, have you not figured out to simply get a bag that will fit under the bed? Wouldn't it be a lot less stressful if you just had a bag that would fit? Why is it the cruise line's responsibility to take care of this for you when the answer is simple? This one doesn't fit. Let me get this one that does. Maybe I should write a comment into Carnival Cruise Lines and suggest that one of the new perks for diamond level cruisers be common sense. Can we add that as a perk? Common sense. Maybe that would get some of these people through their awful, stressful journeys cruise. And finally, I love comments that say, why is this information not available? Why can I not find this answer? Why do I have to write in a comment asking this silly, silly question and you just won't tell me what I want to know? And the reason I love those comments is because if you actually do your due diligence, actually go to the cruise line's website, a lot of times the information is right there, plain as day. And yeah, this time is no different. It is farcical that I should have to become a member of this Facebook group just to get clarification and the right answer. Why is this not something specifically written on Carnival.com's site? People like me want to avoid germs. On my upcoming cruise, I want to bring Lysol and spray down my cabin. Is it allowed to bring aerosols or not? I have been told yes, and I have been told no. There is no clarity at Carnival. Perhaps you, sir, are not concerned with germ prevention on board. All right, so they're going to accuse Carnival Cruise Line's brand ambassador of being not concerned about germs on board the ship because they want to know, can I bring my aerosol can on board the ship? Can I bring my aerosol Lysol? And there's nothing specifically written on Carnival.com. There's no clarity at Carnival, but is that true? Is there no clarity at Carnival? Is there nothing on Carnival.com's website? If I go to Carnival.com and I pull up the prohibited items list, will I find the answer? Let's take a look. So directly off of Carnival's website, directly from the prohibited items list, compressed gas tanks, bottles, cylinders including dive tanks, propane tanks, and aerosol cans are on the prohibited items list. Directly from Carnival.com, aerosol cans are prohibited, and it's right there, plain as day. There is an exemption, the exemption being aerosol cans for personal hygiene use, spray deodorant, hairspray. But aerosol cans with Lysol are right there on the prohibited items list, right there on Carnival.com. How much clearer can that possibly be? So apparently you do not have to join a Facebook group for clarity. Apparently it is specifically written on Carnival.com. And I don't know how much clearer it can be when it says no aerosol cans. Now, if it comes in a pump sprayer, that is allowed. If it is in a wipe, that is allowed. If it is in an aerosol can, that is a prohibited item. So yeah, if you're gonna write in a comment making all these statements, saying all this stuff, acting like the cruise line doesn't care, when in reality, you never once went to carnival.com and took an actual look to see what was on the list to find out if you could or couldn't. And at the end, honestly, you really pretty much just look foolish for writing this in the first place. And that's going to be our video this week for what every cruiser wants. What do you guys think? Do you agree or do you disagree? Are these people right? Is it impossible to eat healthy on board a Carnival cruise ship? Do you think that the cruise lines ignore people that like to ride bikes? And how in the heck is bike riding tied in to people using mobility scooters? Do you feel there's a problem with storing your suitcases? Do they just absolutely not fit under your bed? Do they absolutely not fit in your closet? And if you're a frequent cruiser, a frequent traveler, and you know that this is the space that you have to store them, wouldn't you not get something that fits? And finally, do you think maybe a little research would have let that person know that no, you can't bring your aerosol Lysol on board? It was really plain as day right there on the website. You guys let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Do you agree with the statements? Do you disagree with the statements? Do you think these people were full of rudeness, entitlement, and maybe cruising is just not for them? Now, if you've enjoyed today's video, do me a favor and hit that like button. If you haven't done so yet, do me a favor and hit subscribe. It is free to do so. Helps our channel grow. Let you know anytime we put out a new video. Hope everyone out there is having a really great day. And like always, we will see you out on the high seas.